Okay, guys, so we're gonna do Mercury retrograde readings. I don't see my pretty thing. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we're gonna be doing readings for Mercury retrograde. I'm gonna be keeping this short because, to be honest, guys, let me start by saying the signs most affected by this retrograde are going to be Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, and Pisces. I have strong Gemini and Virgo placements. So I myself have been affected very strongly by the Mercury retrograde. So that's why it took me so long to do this. I actually wrote these horoscopes and intended to go live like early on, like maybe the between the 12th and the 15th. I wanted to do it around the eclipse that happened, the total lunar eclipse that happened, but unfortunately it just didn't work out that way. What I will say is that we're now just coming out of eclipse season with this new moon approaching on the 30th, and then the Mercury retrograde does end on the 3rd of June. So we are coming out of a pretty heavy spiritual season. I use the word spiritual, but it could have been a heavy emotional season for you. It just could have been it physically could have been heavy. I'm not quite sure, but either way, it was heavy. That's the best way to explain it. So what I'll be doing is I'll be pulling kind of one card, maybe some tarot for clarifiers. We're not going to get into any specific storylines. What I'm going to be focusing on is explaining to each sign what the best way to meditate is, because right now is a time where meditation and grounding is very important, especially with the Mercury retrograding back into Taurus. So as we know, or as most of us should know, we move through the astrological signs. We move from Aries to Taurus to Gemini, so on and so forth, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Right now, what happens is when Mercury is in retrograde, it gives the illusion that it's moving backwards. So essentially what is happening is Mercury retrograde began in Gemini season. Began in Taurus season. So it starts up it starts a sign up and is moving backwards. So it started in Gemini and it's moving into Taurus. So because Taurus is the sign before Gemini. So right now we are getting a very Taurian energy when it comes to communication, and Taurus is the most stubborn of the signs. It is the zodiac known to be the most stubborn. So with that being said, is that now is not an opportune time to communicate. It's not an opportune time to try to fix any issues. It's just not an opportune time to try to dig deep into anything. Now is an opportune time to stay consistent and to stay consistency is key. That's the best thing I can say for all 12 signs. Consistency is key right now in anything that you're trying to do. I will say that for those who like to manifest or are interested in learning about manifestation, now is not an opportune time to manifest at all. Now is an opportune time to plant, don't plant anything at this time. It's bound to suffer. But now is an opportune time to reflect, meditate, ground yourself, set solid plans. One of the biggest themes that has come into my life over the past month is a dream without a plan is just a wish, right? And we don't want to wish. I personally have a personal belief system and spiritual belief system against wishing. We never want to wish for anything. So with that being said, now is a time to plan, plot, and play. Honestly, it really is a time to plan, plot, and play around with different ideas, play around in a childlike manner. Not to take things too seriously, either said by yourself or done by yourself or said to others, by others. Now is a time to be very forgiving, because I believe that what we put out into the universe, we always receive back. So if you can forgive others, that means hopefully others will be able to forgive you if you've made any mistakes during the retrograde. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into each reading. I'm going to set like a little timer, and not necessarily a timer. I'm just going to have my stopwatch on so I don't exceed any long periods of time for each sign. So also too, guys, I'm usually doing the timestamps as I go. I won't be doing that. I don't have the energy for it. At the end of the reading, what I'll do is I'll go back through and I'll add the timestamps at the end As I said it out loud, though, I kind of was like, oh, it's so much harder to do even that. Let me see. I might just add them as I go, guys. Sometimes it is actually, it's not that it's easier, it just, otherwise I have to sit back and watch this whole reading again myself. And that does not sound fun. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm not going to worry about typing it in necessarily. I'm just going to track it myself, and then at the end of it, I will drop one comment. Just that way, it's not like a whole bunch of like just comments in there. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it, and I'm going to jump into Aries. Remember, guys, that you can check your sun, moon, or rising. There it goes, 606. So yeah, you can check your sun, moon, or rising. If you don't know how to get those things, you can download an app, or you can inbox me personally and I can help you out with that. But right now we are going to step into Aries energy. And Aries was all about someone being like, someone having you on their mind, Aries. So basically, you've been the apple of someone's eye as far as like energy is concerned. Somebody sees you as like a stability factor. They see you as somebody they wish they could marry, or if this is like a family member, because like I said, we're not going to get too much into storylines here. If this is like a family member, it's somebody who just sees you as somebody who can really help them out, like fulfilling their dreams, or just a good advisory. And this person, there may be somebody from your past, present, or future, I don't know, who just kind of really regrets not taking advantage of your great advice, you know? So we're going to go into a way for Aries to meditate, Aries to decide how to open back up to people who may have wronged them in the past. And also, meditating on is going to be a very important thing for you, Aries. Meditating on how to just kind of take the higher road when it comes to things. There may have people who have wronged you, so you don't only want to know how to let them back in, but you also kind of need to meditate on taking a higher road and learning how to be more mature. Aries is known as the child of the zodiac. You're the first in the zodiac wheel. So spiritually speaking, you are the least evolved. You know, Aries is evolved in terms of ambition and other aspects of their astrological profile. But when it comes to evolution of spirituality, in many different cultures, Aries are known to be the child, and like I said, they're known to be the least evolved spiritually. So usually Aries have to work 10 times harder than a lot of the other signs, especially the signs towards the end of the zodiac wheel, such as Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius. Those 4 signs are known to be the most spiritually evolved signs. So with that being said, the card that came through is Grace, and it's adornment, bringing out the beauty, elegance, the outer as a reflection of the inner, vanity, charisma, and self-expression. So it seems like for you, Aries, a great way to start with meditation is a feng shui room. Having a special space just for meditation, wearing a special outfit just for meditation. Aries, like we said, is the child, and they're also super materialistic. So when it comes to having items, you guys thrive off purchases and buying things. You guys thrive off of beauty. So it's kind of a Libran energy. You guys are kind of the unadvanced Libras of the zodiac. So because you guys both do share connections with this idealism of beauty and having things always looking nice, always feeling good about yourself. And by feeling good, you guys like to look good, whether that's in your space or in your actual appearance. So with that being said, Aries, as a way for you to meditate is going out, spending time alone, shopping for an outfit you're going to wear just to meditate. I don't care if it has to be like a little OB1 outfit. I like to wear like those 70s chic kind of like yoga pants, but with the bell bottoms and like high-waisted and like nice crop tops with them. Like that's kind of like my style, and that's kind of what I'm seeing for you, Aries, is kind of going out of your trendy style, because Aries is also known to be very, very trendy. You guys like to follow trends, so you guys are usually in tune with what's happening as far as like the mass population is concerned, but kind of getting out of that comfort zone and going into like a hippie style just for your meditations. So what you could really, really, really benefit from, Aries, is actually getting an outfit or buying some things for a certain part of your room that will kind of help you like meditate and focus. So like I said, Aries, what you're going to be meditating and focusing on is how to let people in from your past, people who deserve it, and also meditating on how to take the higher road and how to forgive people in order for people to, you, like I said in the beginning, you treat others like you like to be treated. So if you're forgiving people, most likely people are going to be willing to forgive you. So we're going to leave it there, Aries. All right, guys, I lied. I'm just going to go ahead and do them as I go. All right, Taurus, we are jumping into your energy now. Now, Taurus, you're going to be greatly affected right now. I'm not going to lie to you. And this is because with the Mercury retrograde being in your sign, you're an earth sign, and you're an earth sign. Your fellow earth mate, Virgo, is actually ruled by Mercury. You, unfortunately, are not. You guys are, like we talked about, the most stubborn of the signs. So in regard to a Mercury retrograde, you guys don't really take kindly to like communication not being well. You love consistency. You guys are very loyal creatures, very consistent creatures. So when it comes to things becoming inconsistent, when it comes to things going awry, when it comes to communication, technology, just things not working, you guys tend to get very frustrated. You may not necessarily show it in your demeanor or show it in your disposition or your delivery, but essentially overall, it does really, really, really mess with your internal mind, your internal process, right? When things do not go smoothly for Taurus, Taurus tends to get very, 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 very frustrated. Taurians are also very known to get angry, right? Taurus is one of the most angry signs. They're known to be warriors, the warriors of the zodiac. So when it comes to meditating for you guys, yeah, look. '44 energy coming through here, the attraction of the opposites. I'm going to pull a tarot for you guys. It's seduction, temptation, magnetism, a passionate encounter, meeting halfway, coupling, and sexual union. So it seems like you guys may need a group to meditate. Meditating with someone else, using a YouTube, Chariot. Movement of resonance, journey, victory over a situation or problem, balance in the opposite polarities, opposites. Maybe you need to have meditation for you, Taurus, can be speaking with somebody with a positive mindset. 5 of Swords, losses, all is not lost. You still have 3 swords remaining, which gives you the upper hand. Taurus, it seems like for you guys, there could be a question of moving somewhere. There could be a question of not having the right funds for something. It could be a question of always coming, like you guys are the bull. Like, so always hitting a wall when it comes to communication with somebody. Those are the 3 top things in my brain, but I did say I'm not going to follow too many storylines when it comes to everybody. We're going to keep it really simple here. So I think that in regard to your meditation though, you might benefit from doing, like if you're a couple, Taurus, you should definitely do some eye gazing. If you're not a couple, but anything else I said resonates, like you moving, or coming to head with like a boss or a family member or something, like you guys are just always bumping heads. I think you can benefit from watching like a YouTube channel, trying to understand more about meditation on like from a different perspective. It seems that whenever you're meditating, you're actually worrying. So you may need some frequency music. You may need some guided meditations, that's what I'm going to say for you guys. Guided meditations, or for those who are in long-term relationships, because I never recommend this to people. Whenever I'm talking about couples, guys, you guys know with me, I'm always talking about like 5 years or more. I'm never talking about like 1 year, 2 year couples. Like those don't count. Even 3 or 4 years to me doesn't count. 5+ years for relationships. I would say do some Kama Sutra meditations, some coupling meditation in regard to sex. But overall, for Taurian energy in general, it will be best for guided meditations. Don't try to just close your eyes and go to another place. That's really actually not safe. Anybody who recommends you do that is, I'm not going to use a word, but I think we all know what I'm like thinking here. Fill in your own adjective, whatever. But my point is that for you, Taurus, right now, it's going to be about using guided meditations from safe channels. I can actually recommend some. So if you're a Taurus and you're watching this, please inbox me. And I will definitely give you some advice on some great guided meditations. But overall, what you want to do is you want to not rely on your own resources right now, because right now you're over worrying, you're overthinking, you're stressed out, and this is causing for your meditations to be extremely unpredictable, and that brings you to a place of instability. Unpredictability brings instability, and that is not what we want. So right now we're going to go ahead and jump into Gemini. I don't know why I was about to say Virgo. Gemini, the Mercury retrograde began in your sign, so you guys would actually be greatly affected. My heart is racing so fast when I just got to Gemini. So you guys will be greatly affected by this. Gemini, you are known as the twin of the zodiac. I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but not only are you known to have like a bipolar attitude, Gemini, you're also known to be the twin of all the zodiacs, which means whoever you are speaking to in a moment, Gemini, you are supposed to reflect that person and reflect back to them their inner needs, their inner desires, their issues. You're supposed to be like a mirror to people. You're supposed to be a twin to the whole zodiac. So when it comes to you, sometimes it's hard to read on your own energy when you're with other people, because you're constantly reflecting back to people and projecting back to people their own issues and their own problems. So sometimes the emotions you feel aren't necessarily your own, right? You're a mirror reflection of what other people are feeling that's projecting back onto that other person, right? So you guys are lesson teachers. You guys teach a lot of lessons. That's why you are known as the teacher of the zodiac, right? The teacher student of the zodiac. You guys love to learn people. You love to learn things. And the reason for it is because you have a very, like we said, a mirror energy, where you basically are able to learn things and mirror that back onto society, mirror that back onto individuals. So with that being said, when it comes to your energy during a Mercury retrograde, you are going to mirror a lot of, like we just talked about with Taurus, instability, unpredictability, a lot of insecurity, a lot of bad communication. You are usually the communicator of the zodiac. You are ruled by Mercury, which is why you guys have such great communication. But unfortunately, when we come to a time like Mercury retrograde, you're kind of reflecting back to people their bad communication. So all your communication skills tend to go out of the window. You tend to not think properly. You tend to not be able to communicate properly. So Gemini, what you're really going to be meditating on is how to communicate properly, how to find the right words again. It's like during Mercury retrograde, all the right words are lost to you. So right now is an opportune time to really meditate, reflect, and kind of plan and plot how you're going to address issues after the retrograde has ended. This card on top is calling me. So the card is literally keeping still, meditation, self-renewal, composure, detachment, self-acceptance, and serenity. So Gemini, it's very important for you to spend alone time. You know, with Taurian energy, I just had told them that they want to kind of couple with people or find mentors or find teachers or guides who can help them meditate. You're in a completely different space. The more time or the more energy you spend around other people or absorbing other people's energy, heeding their words of wisdom, listening to their advice, even this right here probably isn't that great for you. I mean, I could be hitting on some things, but at the end of the day, essentially what you need to do is you need to look within self. So that means spending time alone in the quiet. Like, you really don't need music. You don't need frequency music. You don't need guided meditations. You don't need assistance, Gemini. Right now is an opportune time to sit with self and go through a self-renewal process. What I would recommend to you most, Gemini, is if you're somebody who likes baths, take baths, cool, but baths, yeah, no, it's going to be baths. I was going to say take showers so you can hear that sound, drown out all the other sounds of the world with like that sound of like the waterfall. But also too, I'm hearing like a bath, because if you do live somewhere alone, or if you live in some place that's nice weather now, because Connecticut is still kind of shoddy with the weather. But if you live someplace right now where you're able to get inside a pool or a jacuzzi, that would definitely be beneficial for you, because sitting in the still water may actually be beneficial. I think running water would actually be counterproductive for you, Gemini. Completion, final attainment, victory, a crescendo, a job well done, perfection, peak performance, and prudence. So yeah, being prudent right now about who you spend your time with. With this representation, it's funny because it's 63. I promise you, you are not supposed to talk to anybody or do any type of large communicating until 6/3, June 3rd, the end of the retrograde. When the retrograde ends, I think you'll be in a different place emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. I think that you'll be able to communicate more with people, and I think that you'll be able to really step into your old self again. I think that you've been kind of taken over by people who... My phone is ringing too, so I think that this is definitely hitting for some people. I'm glad this just came up, because this is what I was getting to, but I couldn't find the right words. But you've been taken over by the world. You've been consumed by the world's issues, especially with the recent political things that have happened. I think, Gemini, for you, Page of Swords, spying or deception, reflecting back over your shoulder, thinking about too much of the past and history, and not even just personal history, the world's history, you know. And I think you're being consumed by like just these ideals and these thought processes. Like we said, you're a reflection for society and individuals. So I think that for some Geminis, it's going to really hit hard as far as the society reflecting back, because I think that for you, the ones who aren't just dealing with individual issues, who are kind of just dealing with like the weight of the world on their shoulders, especially with Gemini being communicators, a lot of you guys usually go into politics, go into leader positions. So you could be somebody considering doing these types of things, and you could just be overwhelmed with this ideal of like how to save the world. But we can't save the world until we save ourselves. So Gemini, for you, saving yourself, meditation begins with being alone. Just having that time alone, spending some time alone, meditating alone. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move into Cancer. All right, Cancer, you are a water sign. You come right after Gemini. And you, honestly, I don't really see many issues happening with you, Cancer. If there are a lot of issues happening with you, Cancer, I would check into your other placements, and that's just to be honest. But essentially right now, it just kind of is more like an ending. I was sensing is that you guys feel like something is ending, something is over. You could feel like the world is over after what just happened. But essentially for Cancer, this Mercury retrograde shouldn't affect you too strongly. If it's affecting you strongly, you should look into your Gemini and Taurus placements. I like to tell everybody this, but we are not just our sun sign. We are our sun, moon, and rising sign, which means that, and those are just the top three, but essentially we have every sign in every house, or there was a planet in every astrological sign. The same way the sun was in Cancer when you were born, the moon was in a place when you were born. Each planet was in a place when you were born. It is possible, because we have all 12 signs, and all 12 of those signs are each aligned with the planet, the moon, and the stars. It is very possible for you, Cancer, that you had strong placements. Gemini could have been, for example, in Venus. And if Gemini was in Venus when the Mercury retrograde starts, your Cancerian, I'm saying that wrong, it doesn't matter. Your Cancer energy could have been in check, but because your Gemini was in Venus, Venus was in Gemini when you were born, you have strong Gemini placements in Venus. Venus rules over love and relationships, etc., etc. So Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, or Pisces could be strong placements on your chart. They could have been in Venus, they could have been in Mercury. Some of you, I'm going to say they could have been in Mars. Mars would cause conflict, cause wars. If you feel like a war is happening, check your Venus placements to see where Venus lies. But essentially, the reason I'm saying all this is because each sign should be affected technically by... I knew it. Aren't you a Cancer? Because Cancers pretty much are good. The reason today might not have been smooth sailing for you, though, is because today is kind of starting to become the end of the eclipse season. So it could not have nothing to do with the retrograde, but more in tune with the eclipse and the new moon that's coming up. So I'm going to be doing a reading on the new moon / end of eclipse season. But I definitely do see, she was my evidence right there. She's a Cancer. Most Cancers should not be affected. And if you have your other placements in check, you really shouldn't be affected either. But if you are being affected, it most likely means you have very strong placements in one of those signs I mentioned. But essentially, if you are a Cancer, the other thing, like I just told her, is that you could be affected by the end of the eclipse season. The eclipse season is coming to an end, and we have a new moon coming up the 30th. And I'm pretty sure the new moon is in Gemini. So yeah, strong Gemini energy. So if it did affect you, maybe you, I don't know if you just watched Gemini, but maybe you could go back and check out Gemini to see like what the advice I kind of gave them was. But essentially, like right now for everybody is a super, super, super strong Gemini energy, the twin energy, the mischief, communication, all that is going to take a large play into your life. But for certain signs, these things are going to affect people more or less. This isn't a positive or negative thing. It's just some people are going to feel it more. Some people aren't going to feel it barely at all. Cancers are one of the signs that shouldn't really be feeling it all too much. So yeah. So let's pull Cancer's card. I felt like that had the peace. You guys got harmony, balance, perfection, a sense of well-being, favorable conditions, and expansion. I really can't make this shit up. But yeah, Cancer, you guys should honestly be feeling this overall. So I'm not gonna go ahead and say it's an opportune time to manifest. Generally speaking, unless you do manifestation magic, you really shouldn't be manifesting, Cancer. But what I will say is that now for a lot of the other signs, and like I was going into, your meditation process should be wrapped around reflection and reflecting on these certain things. But I did mention that a dream without a plan is just a wish. Cancer, if you have your other placements in check and you are not being overwhelmed by your romance life, you know, your relationships, your familial relationships, your career, these things, like you're not being so overwhelmed that you just can't think a way out. Now is an opportune time to plan the next 6 months. When we come out of this season, the opportune time to manifest will start to be around the full moon in June. So the full moon in June, I believe, will be in Sagittarius. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm almost definite it's in Sagittarius. So that would be an opportune time to start to expose all your ideas and set out the plan. It will be June. We'll have 6 months left of the year. We're at that midway point throughout the year. So it's an opportune time to really go ahead and get out there into the world. So with that being said, now is the perfect time to plan. If you're not being overwhelmed with thoughts, and actual external issues in your life, now's the time to sit down with pen and paper and plan out your life. So with that being said, Meditation for you, Cancer, will be about journaling. So I don't know if you want to look into journaling processes. I have a my heart is beating so fast. But I have a calendar journal that I use. And yes, I do journal on each day. Like, it's a little whatever, doesn't matter. The point is that you could benefit from having that. And even like if you go get one from like the dollar store, so that way it's not permanent, right? You don't get a pretty one that costs like $30 and then you feel bad about writing in it, because that's how I am. Like, I don't like to ruin those really pretty ones. What you can do is you can buy like a little one from the dollar store and give yourself an idea of what you want like the next 6 months to look like. Like, what are you doing on these days? Set some goals. Like, that would be a good meditation process. Throw on some nice music, have a glass of wine, enjoy it. Because what did I say in the beginning? This Mercury retrograde is going to be about not taking yourself too seriously and not taking others too seriously. This leaves room for forgiveness. If you take things too serious and you set goals and ideas and plans that you end up that you can't fulfill, or that you don't fulfill, whether it's because of an internal issue or an external issue. Think about how many people made plans before COVID that they couldn't do because COVID hit. You can't control every single thing. See? And you want to know what? And I love the Walmart ones, because you bought like the ones that are at a little bit cheaper scale, right? I hate when I go to Michael's and I buy a super expensive journal, because they have like the $30 ones and you can change out all the stuff and all that good stuff. Like, no. Like, I stopped doing it. I go to Walmart or Marshall's. Burlington has really good ones too. But that's a good idea, especially that you have more than one. You use one of them to kind of make a playful plan, and then you can re-edit and revise in the other two, and so on and so forth. But like in that fourth one, don't use it as a future journal. Kind of use it as you go along present journal. Like, what did I do today? What did I go into? Like, what actually happened? And kind of compare and contrast it, whether it's day by day or at the end of the 6 months around the new year. Sit down with all four and be like, all right, like, this is what I thought I was going to do. Then this is what I rethought I was going to do. And then this is what I actually did. And check your progress. And this will help you actually learn how to create deadlines for yourself, how to finish creative endeavors, how to take your ideas and take them from seeds and turn them into full grown trees and plants and flowers and a whole garden. You know what I mean, Cancer? So let me see. Yeah. Great power, strength of character, or authority, dignity, influence, self-confidence, leadership, peak condition, and potency. I really feel like for Cancer, it's an opportune time to recognize your power, plan and plot what you're going to do with it. Now is an opportune time for a lot of Cancers to recognize their deepest desires, their purpose in life, and fulfill it. Because if you sit on great power, with great power comes great responsibility. That's the best thing I can say. With that being said, I feel like for you guys, meditation is definitely going to be about journaling. It's going to be about planning, making even with this perfection. What did one of them say? Yeah, one of them said perfection. And I think that's really important, because I think that you're going to, right now is an opportune time to strive. You're welcome. To strive for your idea of perfection. What's perfect to one person is not perfect to another, right? We want to use perfection in a subjective manner. I'm not talking about the idealism of perfect body, like of what society thinks is perfect, whatever you think is perfect, Cancer. All right. So I did say we're going to keep each one a little shorter, but Cancer got me, because Cancer was like, easy. You guys weren't that crazy. We're going into Leo, which might not be so easy. All right, Leo's 3418. See, guys, this is why I hate doing the timestamps as I go, because I feel like it makes like these weird, like dull moments. Okay, Leo. So let's look into, you guys were basically losing yourselves in your thoughts, and emotions. You heard that, nice confirmation. A lot of the biggest message I kept getting from Leo when I was doing the readings, because before I come live, I always do a smaller reading just to get an energy. The energy I was getting for Leo was really to slow the fuck down. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys move very fast. You guys have a lot of, you guys are like the Eight of Wands energy in the tarot. I mean, you guys are represented by another card in the tarot. It's just, that's the best way for me to explain it right now. You guys love giving and getting attention, and it's hard for you guys to stay silent and to just kind of like meditate and reflect. And even when you do, it's like you love to broadcast what it is you're doing. So it's like right now is an opportune time, Leo, to like sit down, shut up, and not be seen. I know it's really hard for you guys because you guys just love to be seen. But I feel like, yeah, I really don't got to go too much more deeper into that because I think you guys are going to just start to get offended. But I feel like I'm going to take this out just because I feel like it is relevant, but that's not your only card. But for you guys, meditation, see, the card coming through here is attraction of opposites, seduction, temptation, magnetism, passionate encounter, meeting halfway, coupling, and a sexual union. I think you guys are opposite of the Taurian energy. I think that you guys should be kind of practicing abstinence or being celibate. I don't think that you guys should be kind of like, it's like you guys need a break. Oh my God. I be on it. Maintain a low profile, look inward first, caution and moderation, difficulties, self-protection, and subdue your brilliance. You guys need to like chill out. You need to go underground. It's hibernation time. It's not even just spending time alone, because you don't have to be alone while you do this, Leo, but you need to subdue your brilliance. Subdue this need to shine bright all the time, to be the brightest person in the room. Like, you can be dull, you know, like you can be dull. But let's think about it this way. If you're the sharpest pencil in the pack all the time, think about how much energy, how much shavings, like I'm trying to like help you understand this in a different aspect than I want to be the sharpest tool in the shed. I want to be the sharpest pencil in the pack. Like, no, you don't. You want to be the dull pencil, because you want to know what? Every now and then the dull pencil gets looked over, and that dull pencil isn't being used as much. If you were the sharpest pencil all the time, that means you're being used all the time. And I'm really sensing that energy from you, Leo, is that you're constantly being used, or that you're constantly using other people. And it's not for anything physical. It's just for like we're saying, just to be. You just like to be the brightest in the room. You just like to be the center of attention. You just like to, you love your mane to just be, you know, like it's okay to go outside in sweatpants and not looking good. Like, nobody actually cares, Leo. Like, you care more than the world. And I say that with the utmost respect. I really do, Leo. But right now is maintaining a low profile, staying inside the house with sweatpants and, you know, watching old movies, documentaries, and just kind of like zoning out into a place that feels safe for you, a place where there's no judgment. And maybe that's the problem. Leos want to be the center of attention, and they want to be the sharpest in the sharpest in the clan, the sharpest and the strongest and the brightest and the smartest, because deep down, Leos are actually one of the most insecure zodiacs. They fear being judged. They fear being outcasted. So right now, in order to like kind of rid yourself of those fears, Leo, the best thing for you to do is to just avoid people. Like, don't go near people. Just stay out of the limelight and no one can judge you. It's kind of like famous people, right? If something happens in a famous person's life and then the famous person is like, oh my God, but we really just want privacy and, you know, whatever during this time. And then people are kind of like, this is the lifestyle you asked for. Like, you don't get privacy now. Now you get public commentary on everything you do in this world. And I think that with you, Leo, is you strive for fame, right? You strive for this type of energy, to be famous or to have fame and fortune. But what I'm trying to tell you is that in the meantime, if you don't have it yet, try to keep a low profile so that you can maintain some type of humility. So you can remember what these safe spaces feel like, so that if you do get famous, if you do end up having fame and fortune, or you just end up becoming the center of attention in even a local place, like it doesn't even have to be global. You know, you don't have to be a global sensation, but even if you do attain some type of fame or higher responsibility, become a leader of some sort, you can maintain this level of humility, and you know what it feels like to be in these safe spaces alone, or in these safe spaces with people who love and care about you, right? So looking inward first, caution and moderation. Do everything in moderation. I'm not saying don't ever go out. You have to go out and go to the grocery store. You have to go out. I don't know what else people go out for, but I've mainly been living my life inside of a home and at a grocery store. But you have to go out to work. You know, you do have to go out and do certain things, Leo. But with that being said, in moderation, right? Until this end of this retrograde. Being celibate, taking a break from social media, taking a break from sex, taking a break from fast food, taking a break from too much TV. Like, I'm not going to say TV because you can watch a great documentary, right? I don't know why that's coming up so strongly for you, Leo. Maybe you should be watching documentaries. But also, I think that it's kind of like, stay away from reality TV. Stay away from TV, consuming TV that's just like not beneficial for you. Hold on, guys. I'm kind of glad they did it while I'm here. I'm so sorry about that. I just reported it as spam. You can go ahead and like block them if you want. I'm so super sorry about that. They be on it though. Honestly, let's give them credit, guys, because they go quick when it comes to like me doing these readings. And I'm always like, how do they see this stuff? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's out. That's gone. Yeah, like spammers. Like, let's delete the comment. And once again, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm glad it happened now, because sometimes they'll come in and do it after I'm gone, and then I don't even see them. So super happy it happened now. I was able to block her. That won't be happening again for the rest of the reading. Honestly though, that was a sign to stop Leo. Leo's done. You guys need to subdue your brilliance. Get out of the light. It's funny though, because what did I just say about people who are in the limelight, and then look what just happened to me. I feel like that was like a sign for Leos, like as far as is concerned with like when like, I just read a thing, Leo, this will be my closing message for you. But I just read a thing that literally said, if you're the brightest in the room, expect to attract some bugs, because bugs are attracted to light. So, you know, I'm deciding to shine my light up here, and as a result, some bugs came and I had to swat them away. I feel like with Leo energy, that's kind of like what you guys deal with like on a daily basis. You know, your light is always so bright that you're attracting bugs, you know? So the only way to stop that from happening is to dim your light. And let's just point out too, is that I haven't been up here for so long that like I've been dimming my own light for my own personal reasons, which I will be telling you guys about. Like after the retrograde, I'll be announcing why I've been so MIA and what's been happening in my life. But I was able to swat it with a more calm feeling. When those spammers were coming in like a couple months ago, and I was really trying so hard to manifest and be up here doing certain things, it was literally affecting my energy to a point where it was like I was getting angry about it. Now I'm just kind of like, that's why I literally said, like, let's give them credit, because I do not know how they find those readings so fast, but they sure do. Like, so it's just kind of like, oh, you do? So I think Leo, I actually have strong Leo placements. That's actually why I felt like I had to get away from it too. In my in my sidereal chart, I'm a Leo moon. In my tropical chart, I'm a Virgo moon. So I resonate a little bit more with the Virgo most of the time, but every now and then, especially having a moment like this, having a moment like this, I'm kind of like, I see my Leo traits and I understand the Leo emotions about it all, you know? All right, guys, so we're going to jump into Virgo. Like I just said, I'm a Virgo rising, a Virgo moon, which is funny. No matter which chart I have strong Virgo placements. I always tell everybody Virgo is my favorite sign. But Virgo, it seems like for you guys, meditation, this is what fell through when I was just doing all that shuffling and my mind was already set on you guys. Impermanence, collapse, deterioration, separation, let go, surrender, eliminate the old, and death. There's a feather here which feels super significant. I feel like Virgo energy, people with strong Virgo placements could be seeing feathers. They could be getting messages from passed on ancestors or loved ones. Especially if you're taking time to be in nature, and even if it's for a second, you could live in the city, but like you're by a tree and you just like have these weird feelings. So yeah, death feels super significant, but not because something bad is going to happen, but more or less because something bad may have already happened and somebody's reaching out to you to let you know they're okay. So meditation for you right now, Virgo, is going to be about conversation. This talks about surrender, letting go of concepts that your loved ones are not here. This is something I talk about strongly in my Aaliyah reading. I always get, actually, this just brought my energy, like, because for Virgo energy, what it seems is like there's a misunderstanding about the realms, you know, the physical realm, the spiritual realm, emotions, and entities, and etc., etc. I think that there is a idealism that speaking beyond this physical realm is either not possible, or it's dangerous. I want you to understand, Virgo, though, that these are things that we are taught by society and religion. That doesn't necessarily make them true. There are other religions, other spiritualities, other philosophies that coincide with the idealism of speaking with our passed on loved ones. So with that being said, I think that you should really dig deeper into how to communicate with your spirit guides. Your meditation is going to be for closure, and it's going to be to get assistance from the other side. Now, you could be somebody who's not willing to speak necessarily with your passed on ancestors or your passed on loved ones, but I think that right now is an opportune time for you, Virgo, because if you are somebody who's religious and you're like, oh, I can't do that, that's against my practice, I will say that you probably shouldn't be watching my reading if you believe that, because your religion probably says you shouldn't be watching horoscopes or listening to readings. But my point is that you can speak with the higher person, thing, place, whatever it is that you pray to, whatever God or goddess it is that you pray to. Maybe it's that you need to pray to them more. This is a little bit opposite than what I'm saying to the other people, because meditation is when you listen to the universe, and prayer is when you talk to the universe. Now, take universe and insert anything you want there. God, loved ones, ancestors, I don't care. Meditation, listen to your ancestors. Meditation, listen to God. Meditation, listen to the universe. Prayer is when we talk to God, talk with our ancestors, talk with the universe. It seems like meditation for you, being silent, isn't something that's an issue, and it's not even something that you necessarily need to do right now. It seems like prayer is your biggest task right now, because your meditations have brought you to the downloads that somebody or something is trying to talk to you. but you're too scared to open the door. If you're a Virgo, you have strong Virgo placements, and you're somebody who's interested in that, I definitely am able to assist you with that. Even just giving tips and tricks in your inbox. I am somebody who's like, yes, I do readings, and I do obviously charge for readings because my time is valuable. But I am also somebody, which a lot of people can attest for, that if you send me a quick message and ask me a question, like, I'm going to answer the question. I'm never going to try to just sell you a reading or just try to like jump to that. Like, oh, yes, well, you can book my reading and I can tell you all about it. I really don't care about that type of stuff. Eventually, by the end of the year, probably by October, I won't even be doing personal readings. I'll only be doing online readings. And even then, my inbox, my email address, my website are all going to be 100% open to answering questions for people, because when you get into this type of work, you have to be open to helping others, even if it doesn't necessarily pay you in the long run, financially, emotionally, spiritually. Sometimes it has nothing to do with me. Sometimes it's just about helping others, taking myself completely out of the picture. So I'm only saying that to say, Virgo, that if you have any general questions, like, I'm not here to give you a whole text on the Bible or tell you word for word Psalms or anything like that. But at the end of the day, like, if you have general questions or you have seen something recently and you want general understanding, you've had a dream recently and you need a general understanding about what it may mean or etc., whatever, you understand what I'm saying, I'm here for you. But prayer is definitely going to be your key. If you are a Virgo and you do end up messaging me about that, I'm going to end up giving you some tips on how to pray, how to strengthen your prayer, how to create an altar, these types of things. So yeah, I'm going to just pull a couple tarot so we can get like a little bit of I just saw the Three of Swords. With the letting go, it seems like you guys could be dealing with heartbreak, and maybe your ancestors, the universe, God, they want to help you, Virgo, heal your heart, heal your broken heart, help you move on, especially with the letting go, the deterioration, surrender. Temperance and Death came out. And Eight of Cups. Turning your back and walking away, knowing nothing more can be done. Death of a situation and new beginnings, and Temperance. Testing the waters. With Temperance and Eight of Cups, it seems like you guys are going through some money problems, Virgo. It seems like you guys... Okay, so I recently went through this, so I can kind of give this little bit of advice that was recently given to me, is that sometimes... Thank you, I appreciate that. I just seen this. Sometimes the comments come a little bit late, so I don't know if you had already written that, but thank you. So Virgo, I think that for you're going through a period where you might have had an idea or a creative endeavor or even a business endeavor, a career opportunity, right? And you were super stuck on, if I get this, then my life will look this way. I just need to follow these basic steps and I'll be able to attain success. What I'm here to tell you is I just recently had to go through kind of like a whole awakening, because I had that same plan with my business, with these readings, with how I was manifesting my LLC. And I just had a piece of advice come to me from somebody I would not have thought that I would ever even listen to advice from. And they were giving me advice on how to change my business model, how to change things up, how to market and advertise. And it took me completely out of my element. And in the moment, I was so grateful because I felt like it was a sign from the universe. You know, I'm very in tune spiritually. I was getting these same messages I'm telling you guys that you're receiving. Like I said, I have strong Virgo placements. I was getting a lot of messages from my father, from my ancestors, from my spirit guides. And only once I prayed did this beautiful thing happen to me. I was able to have this beautiful conversation with this person. And I heeded the advice, and I'm now in the process of applying these things to my business model, to my website, whatever, so on and so forth. But without that creative thinking outside of the box, outside of my box, we're not even talking about society, we're not talking about anything else. I had a plan and I was petrified to go off of the plan because I believed that my plan was the plan. I thought if I go off my plan that bad things would happen. I wouldn't succeed. But it felt like I was already not succeeding. Like I felt like I was already in a stagnant place with my business. I felt like I wasn't making as much as I wanted to be making. I felt like I wasn't selling as much as I wanted to sell. And I thought to myself, what do I have to lose? If everything's not going exactly, like if the plan's not working, the plan's not working. Sometimes we have to admit to ourselves that the plan is not working. So with that being said, I had to kind of understand that I had to turn my back and walk away, knowing that nothing more could be done in the aspect that I wanted it to. It doesn't mean that I had to give up on my dreams completely. There were little tidbits that I did keep and store in my back pocket and say, I'm going to get back to those in about 5 years or so. But right now, I need to refocus the plan on this target. I had such a huge target market, if we want to talk business, actual business words, that it was like, I was all over the place. I needed to focus in on one piece of the target, focus and throw my darts at that, and then over time I can expand, right? But I was so scared of minimizing myself because I thought minimizing myself meant failure. So I hope that was explanatory without having to be too personal in my details, because personally I hate when I'm watching a reading and somebody tells me a personal story and I'm like, I don't care about your personal story. I'm sure you guys don't care about my personal story. But the point is that sometimes we have to kind of like minimize. So for you, that's where the death and the letting go and the surrendering. I had to surrender. And what he said to me, the person who I had this conversation with, was there was a story. He was a biblical man. He was a man of God, a God-fearing man. And he said, when I said I was so grateful and I felt like it was the universe, God, I use my different language at different times. It depends who I'm talking to. But yes, I do. Everybody knows it's God first for me. With that being said, I did say, I thank God so much for bringing you to my life and et cetera, et cetera. And he said, I'm just glad you're not the person on the boat. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he was like, when I first got into the church, they told me a story about a man who was on a sinking boat. And he's on the boat and it's sinking and it's taken in water. And a boat comes along, and this boat has no resources. Or I apologize. Yeah, it has no resources. It just has one man on a boat, but it can fit one more person. And he says, jump on my boat. And he says, no, I can't jump on your boat. God got me. I got a plan. God got me, and I got a plan to get out of here. Guy says, okay, no problem, goes away. The next ship comes, and it's a ship, and it has lots of resources, bells and whistles, a whole crew, and they're like, jump on up, we can help you. And the guy is like, no, I have a plan. I have a plan. God got me. I have a plan. And literally what happens is he ends up going down under the water, drowning, dying, going to meet God. And he says to God, why didn't you save? Why I prayed to you. That plan was supposed to work. What happened? And God is like, what are you talking about? I sent you 2 boats. I sent you 2 boats. Like, you didn't jump on the boats. Like, I literally sent you help and you did not take it. So this is your first boat, the boat with one person, and I could fit one more person on. But I promise you, Virgo, when that ship comes and there is a whole crew and there's resources and all these things on the boat, jump on the boat. Get off of your sinking ship and jump on the boat. Now, this could actually apply to a love life. This whole concept, this whole metaphor, this whole part of the reading for Virgo can apply to a love life, a career, a move of residence. It can apply to anything it is that you're doing right now, that right now you feel as if you don't have everything you need. You don't feel like you're able to proceed in life if this plan doesn't go. First off, you feel like you don't have everything you need in life anyways, but also you feel like you will never have it if this plan doesn't go off without a hitch. I'm here to tell you your plan's not going to go off without a hitch. There's going to be Like, you're not going to reach the level of success that you want to with your plan that's in the cards. And overall, too, what I'm trying to tell you is it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to accept help, whether that help is in the physical realm or that help is in the other realms, which are our ancestors, God, the universe. I don't really care. As long as you're not praying to somebody who causes violence on other people, or you don't cause violence on other people, I don't really care who you pray to. But the point is that you need to start praying and you need to start having those conversations so that you can get that help, so somebody can come in on that boat and help you move to the next level. All right, we're going to move into Libra. Librian energy has been very iffy for me. Only because Librian energy really changes whether you're a male or female. So what I'm going to do, because Librian energy is ruled by Venus, and it's one of the signs that every sign, male or female, has a very, 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 very different astrological profile. I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, and I know it's hard in this day and age with, you know, how everybody kind of looks at gender as like a spectrum, which I totally respect. But as far as astrology is concerned, it does follow the duality and polarity laws of a lot of different philosophical cultures, a lot of spiritual cultures. So it does rely on masculine and feminine energy. So we're not going to say necessarily gender. Let's just say the energy you're in, masculine or feminine. And with that being said, depending if you're a Libra in your masculine energy or your feminine energy, you're going to be affected differently, right? Libra in feminine energy is known to be loyal lovers. They're known to have a lot of relationships, but they are known to be relationship people. Libra in the masculine is known to kind of be, I'm not going to say players, because they still are known to be in relationships, but they tend to end their relationships more quickly than the females, right? Female Libras are known to be loyal to their partners, whereas, don't want to keep saying female. Libras in their feminine energy are known to be more loyal to their lovers, whereas Libras in their masculine energy are kind of known to be less loyal. They're known to enjoy love and sex, and they're known to be junkards. I'm using like the 1800s terms for it, but they're known to like enjoy some liquor and enjoy some, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, so they love them some loving. Libras love regardless, but they love it in different ways. Libra in the feminine energy loves love to be faithful and loyal and long-term and consistent and yeah, like all that stuff. Whereas Libras in the masculine energy love to be pleasurable and enjoyable and exciting, and yeah, so there's a little bit of a difference there. Right when I say that, but look what I pulled. The Wanderer. It's traveling, adventure, movement, coping with unfamiliarity, a pilgrimage, aloneness, and broaden your horizon. So we're going to pull that for the masculine. And then for the, this is funny. Look what came out. We're going to keep this for the masculine as well. The creative. Libra masculine energies are known to be like super into like fashion and designers and musicians, and yeah, so the active yang principle, strength, tenacity, dynamic, guys, I'm not saying words right, inspiration, heaven, masculinity, authority, and father. So Librians who are, yep, and then look what we have for the feminine energy. Abundance, plenty, profusion, generosity, fertility, ripeness, inner riches, reaping rewards, culmination, and harvest. And we have the joyous happiness, delight, interaction, open communication, goodwill, friendly persuasion, and self-expression. So I'm going to get into the masculine first. This is the only sign I'm doing like this, and this is only because recently when I've been pulling for Libra, it's been so hard for me because the energy has been so split. So for the masculine energy, for meditation for you guys, what you're really going to focus on is sitting still in new places, which I know is kind of like an oxymoron in a way, but you want to sit still in environments that you have not been or seen before. Museums, I don't know why that came up so quickly, but museums, broadening your horizons, literally going to a place where you can see off into the horizon, beaches, a beach you haven't been to though, or a place on the beach you haven't been to, adventure, travel. So you need to travel to places you haven't necessarily been, and you need to experience them in ways you've never seen before. Or maybe that you have been, but I apologize, but experience them in ways you haven't seen before. It would be an opportune thing for you to do, Libra masculine energy, to go someplace with a canvas, some acrylic paint, and paint. That's going to be your form of meditation. So coping with unfamiliarity, like going to a place and having to get comfortable and acquaint yourself in a place that you've never actually like got comfortable in. You know what I mean? This will help keep you inspired. This will help connect you with the higher powers, your ancestors, your guides, all of that good stuff. The painting will help you get downloads, painting, drawing, journaling. I'm going to stick with painting though, to be honest, or like crayons, coloring. I don't care. It doesn't have to actually be paint, but get a blank piece of paper, some crayons or some markers or some colored pencils, all things you can get at the dollar store, and kind of like just sit there with a blank piece of paper and just allow whatever comes to you to come to you. You want to create a piece of art, and that piece of art could be, for some of you, I'm hearing like music. It could be like writing a song. It could be painting, like I'm saying, for like a picture, and that picture being a form of reflection that you bring back to your personal space or put on your altar, put on your wall for you to see consistently, to remind you of how much you were inspired, to bring you to a place of inspiration and motivation, for after the retrograde is over. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and close it up there for the masculine. For the feminine energy, we have plenty, profusion, generosity, fertility, ripeness, inner riches, reaping rewards, culmination, harvest, happiness, delight, interaction, open communication, goodwill, friendly persuasion, and self-expression. So I'm hearing kind of like not the same thing, but the same thing in the sense of going to a place that you've never necessarily been, or being someplace that you have been, but going to a new area of it. What I'm hearing for you the most, Libra, feminine energy, is food. With the harvest, ripeness, I'm hearing like not an apple patch, because I don't know. Well, I'm in Connecticut, so apples would be fall. But I'm hearing like strawberries. Is that something that's harvested in the summer? Maybe a winery or a brewery. You know what I mean? Like enjoying yourself. I'm hearing more winery because that's more like fruit, ripeness. Happiness, delight, interaction, open communication, goodwill, friendly persuasion, self-expression. And I'm sorry to repeat the words over and over again. It's just that it feels like for you, especially with the 5-5 abundance, 5-8 joyous, it feels like for you before May is over, 5-8, today's 5-28. It feels like before May is over, you really should enjoy having like a night out with friends. Maybe in May you already have during the retrograde. So maybe your reflection time and your meditation time is even just, yeah. So for you guys, what I'm going to say is that you probably, for the feminine energy, you've probably already done this in May, right? And your reflection and your meditation time is going to be going through your photos. Look through your photos and think about who was fun, who wasn't fun, and reflect and meditate and think about it, and just think about all your relationships, and just look through your pictures. I would say that during the new moon, because the new moon, it will still be May, but it'll be more towards the end of the retrograde, like June 1st or like May 31st. If you have Snapchat, go through all your May snap memories. If you have an iPhone or like an Android, I'm pretty sure Android does it too. I'm not an Android person, I wouldn't know. But look through your May memories. Watch that little thing. iPhone sends you a little thing at the end of every month, like, watch your recap of May. Watch your recap. Let it play out exactly how they want to let it play out for you. And just like watch your recap and see how it makes you feel, and reflect and meditate and think about how your May went, and think about how you don't want your June to go, or your July, or your August, or your September. Think about the people you want to bring into the next 6 months and the people you want to leave in that first half of the year. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go ahead and say for Libras. Pretty simple energy, I feel like, for you guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and jump into Scorpio. Everybody knows this is like one of my least favorite signs. Whoops. All right, Scorpio, how can you meditate at the end of this retrograde? Okay, it seems like you guys definitely are in a communication gap. You're not really speaking with somebody, or speaking is not great with somebody that you love. Great power came through. I'm gonna leave that. I think that came through for Cancer. Yeah, I'm already not getting a vibe for you guys. I never like get a good vibe. Difficulty in the beginning, growing pains, doubts and fears, awkwardness, becoming stronger in experience, vulnerability, healing past mistakes. It seems like for you, Scorpio, what I'm hearing 100% is your level of meditation should be writing an apology to somebody. I don't know why. It just seems like you guys have somebody to apologize to. I think for some of you, you should be apologizing to yourself about something. Healing, correct past mistakes, make repairs, clean up corruption, restore balance, and responsible action. It seems like you're supposed to be taking responsibility. Being in this place of miscommunication and disharmony, misunderstandings and estrangement, it makes you feel awkward. It makes you feel vulnerable. If this is a romantic relationship, I think that it's making you feel like you may not have ever been in this place maybe with a lover before, and or maybe you have, but you don't know how, you've never known how to rectify it in the past, and usually this is where a relationship ends. 3 is here, which signifies a child. So either you're a child dealing with a mother or a father figure who's causing this communication gap, or you're the mother or father figure and you have a communication gap with your child. And maybe this is a cycle that's repeating through the parent-child relationships in your family, but correcting past mistakes begins with taking accountability. You can't force somebody else to communicate. You can't force somebody else to take responsibility. All we can do is control our own actions and how we react to things. And I think right now you're reacting in a way that is kind of you're reacting in a way that's causing more distance when you could step up, take the higher road. Maybe that's why the Cancer came through. Was it Cancer who was supposed to take the higher road? I don't remember who was supposed to take the higher road. It was one of the other signs. But either way, the point is that you need to take the higher road, Scorpio. I'm going to pull a tarot real quick, but this is kind of stressing me out. I'm not going to lie. I don't like Scorpio energy. I hate it. Yeah. 6 of Pentacles. The 6 represents temperance and attitude. Pentacles represents money, so it seems like one of the two people has more money. 4 Cups is here. Money fluctuations, being offered something you may not want. One of the two parties had to take something they didn't necessarily want because of this communication gap. Like they're living someplace, or they're in a car that's less, like you could have helped with something but you didn't. The Chariot, move of residence. Somebody's living in a place that they don't necessarily want to be living in. Guys, all I can say to you, Scorpio, is that the best thing for you guys to do is write a letter of apology. I'm getting off this energy. Not really my thing, not gonna lie to you. I never do well with Scorpio. But what I think is that you guys could benefit from sitting down in a quiet place with a nice cup of coffee or cup of wine and write an apology to somebody, and that somebody could be you. Like I said, I'm not going to go ahead and sit here and say you necessarily wronged somebody, because that's not, I'm not seeing it to that level of like nobody's wrong and nobody's right. I think that's what I'm going to leave it at with you, Scorpio, is nobody's wrong and nobody's right. So I think that you should just kind of focus on writing that letter of apology and seeing where it takes you. Only you know what it is that you need to apologize for, or who you need to apologize to, even if that person is yourself. So we're going to jump into Sagittarius. Pisces is coming up. We have Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then Pisces. Once I start to get to the end, I start to do them even faster. I've been doing about 10 minutes for each. So you're more than welcome to come back in a few minutes. Leave it at the bottom of your corner, because this is Facebook. I don't know if you're on a mobile device. But we're definitely going to be heading there soon. Usually I always do Pisces last. I usually always go in order from top to end, just so that you know, like in the future, if you go back to any of my old videos. But usually I do leave it in the timestamp. So another option you have is to just save the video, and you can always come back after it's completely done and click the timestamp for the sign that you'd like. Oh, there goes Sagittarius. These are literally two of my favorite cards, and everybody knows I'm a Sagittarius. Discipline, exert authority, define. It's time to take the bull by the horns, create a strategy, mobilize forces. And 4, that was 7, and this is 4. Impulsiveness, immaturity, bluffing, ignorance, learning, impatience, and reckless behavior. So it seems like for Sagittarian energy, now is the time to grow the fuck up. And the way you can meditate is honestly I'm going to go back to what I had given the advice for Cancer of doing, is creating a plan. It feels like Cancer and Virgo are probably significant for you, Sagittarius. So I don't know if you have a Cancer moon rising, or like another strong placement like Venus. Your Mercury could be in Cancer, or your Mars. Any of your signs could actually be in Cancer. Any of your planets could be in Cancer. You can check that out on Nebula, CoStar. These are great apps that you can use. But essentially, you do just want to go ahead and check those out. Hold on. I was gonna add them here. CoStar astrology. Let me see. I'm adding it right now for you guys. Oh, Momo, you're here. Oh, thank you for supporting me. Did you come right on Sagittarius too? I just added in a thing for CoStar. I do not have any affiliation with CoStar. I'm not going to make no money off that link. Honestly, I could care less if they make money. But it's just so that, because a lot of people do ask me. So I'm just going to throw it in the comments for this one. But yes, Sagittarius, you should go back to Virgo and Cancer. If what I'm about to say resonates with you. What you should be doing right now is letting go of the youthfulness. I do feel like Mercury retrograde for you is about being playful. Be playful with your ideals. Be playful with like the people around you. Don't take, I keep repeating this. Seems to be a general theme, so I'm probably going to end up naming the YouTube video this. Do not take people seriously and don't take yourself seriously. When you don't take things seriously, it leaves room for forgiveness, right? If you take things too seriously and you take things personally, then you don't have room to forgive, because then you start to believe that things are disrespectful, or if something goes against your way of thinking or your way of life, then you feel like you can't forgive, because then you're giving in, you're going against your morals. Don't overthink things right now, Sagittarius. Now is an opportune time to not take yourself seriously and not take others seriously, so that you can forgive yourself and forgive others for any transgressions that happened during the Mercury retrograde. With that being said, now is also not a time to be impulsive. Not taking things seriously doesn't necessarily mean to not plan or plot. You still need to make conscious plans, not only of your day and your routine through the end of this retrograde. I think making a daily to-do list. Okay, so Cancer, I kind of went more into journaling and making a full 6-month plan, right? Right now, Sagittarius, you want to kind of minimize that down, minimize your target down, which if that minimizing target down, if that resonated with you, definitely watch Virgo, because Virgo, I talked about having a big target and bringing it down to a smaller target. You want to take a big target and bring it down to a smaller target. Maybe you don't need to check out the full 6 months right now, Sagittarius, but what you do need to do is check out what it is you need to be doing daily, right? You need a daily checklist. Once you start off with a daily checklist, after the retrograde, if you can apply that for at least a month, a week, and you see yourself being consistent with this daily checklist, Sagittarius, then you can sit down around the June full moon, which will be a full moon in Sagittarius, and you can say, now what do I want to do for the next 6 months? Because for you, from around the June, I mean, it depends on when your birthday is, but the June full moon will be, I think, the 18th. So the 18th, 6 months from then, is December 18th. That should be your birthday, right? Oh, Momo, that's actually your birthday. But yeah, you'll have that time to make the 6-month plan. You don't have to make the 6-month plan right now. For Cancer and energy, it was opportune for them to make a 6-month plan right now during the Mercury retrograde, so that when their June begins, they essentially are moving into the 6 months of full June, July, August, September, October, November, December, which, by the way, is opportune for them because Cancer and birthdays are going to come up in June. So they'll have a little bit of stuff settled before their birthday in June, and they'll be able to go into their birthdays and start off the end of this year, which for them is almost like a new year at their birthday, with confidence and dignity. For you, Sagittarius, what you really want to do is focus on, like I said, a nice to-do list, and focus on what it is you want to apply to your life daily. Then that daily plan around June 18th, around the full moon, can expand, right? So that's really what you want to focus on. Defining your needs and defining your expectations for the day. Then you can move into the rest of this year. Then you can move into the years to come, etc., etc. Creating a strategy, mobilizing forces. Another thing I'm hearing for you, Sagittarius, is delegating responsibility. If you have strong people in your life, now is an opportune time to delegate responsibility to those other people. So I feel like in regards to Sagittarian energy, try not to be reckless. Try not to be impatient. Try not to take things too seriously. Try to move through this retrograde with ease and grace by staying lighthearted, okay? Sorry, guys. My phone was just ringing again, and I feel like this is more divine confirmation. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move into Capricorn. I always say this, which I always find super interesting, but Capricorn is literally my top viewed sign, Capricorn and Virgo. So I always channel the energy pretty well. But let's pull into some Capricorn energy. One thing I'm going to start by saying, hold on, let me just double check something. Okay, so Capricorn energy, in regard to this whole Mercury retrograde, there wasn't, it's kind of like the Cancer energy. There wasn't like any crazy energy placements that should affect you, but it seems like for Capricorns, the energy I was picking up most on was that life-changing experiences had happened, marriages, babies, moving, and these things have unfortunately gone awry because of the Mercury retrograde. But it's not like you're emotionally unstable. It's more like your external circumstances are becoming unstable. And it has nothing to do with you. So what Capricorn, the energy that's coming through is self-discipline, concentration, strengthen your character from within, self-awareness, and realizing your potential, which is significant to what I just said, is it's like within, if you are safe, grounded, and you feel strong and you feel at peace, then your outer, the outer is a reflection of the inner, right? So right now, we're not necessarily getting that metaphor because Mercury retrograde is going to make the outer crazy regardless of how at peace you are. But the more at peace you can be, the more peace you can find in chaos. I hope that makes sense. If not, I'm sorry, but that's what it is with you guys right now. How you guys are going to meditate is gradual progress, continuity, slowly but surely, adaptability, and a time-honored approach. It seems like you guys have to take things slowly, keeping still, meditation, self-renewal, composure, detachment from the external, self-acceptance, and serenity. Capricorn, you're an earth sign, but you guys are also super ambitious and you guys are super materialistic. You guys are represented by the devil and tarot. I say that in like all my readings for Capricorn, but I really don't care. I feel like it's very necessary information. But my point is in saying is that although you guys are earth signs, you guys should be spending a lot of time outside. Most Capricorns don't, because they think that going outside or being like in real nature, like I'm talking woods, trees, bugs, you know what I mean? Y'all don't like that because you guys feel like you're too disconnected from like Capricorns love the city. All right, they can live in the inner city and do just fine. There are some people in general, doesn't matter your sign, who like the city versus the country. Capricorn people, which you guys can Google this, I mean, this is a known fact. Most Capricorns are CEOs of companies. They run billion-dollar companies and et cetera, et cetera. Like Capricorn energy is very known to do that. So with that being said is that Capricorn, it's hard for you guys to disconnect from that, to disconnect from technology, to disconnect from society, to disconnect from leadership, to disconnect from ambition. If you guys are in nature and in the silent place, usually it makes you guys anxious because you're just ready to get back. Even when you guys go places like this, you get a download and you instantly want to go back so that you can go live out your download. Like, you know, you go out there and you get this crazy download about an idea for a business or something, you automatically want to go to your laptop and start typing out the business plan. Life doesn't work that way. I hate to break it to you guys, but Capricorn, right now is an opportune time to go into nature and do it slowly. I really recommend going into the woods. I really highly recommend being someplace where you are surrounded by real nature. Get out of the city, essentially, is what I'm trying to say to you, Capricorn. Not just like a walk in a city park, because that's like the same thing. I'm hearing a mountain, okay? Mountain energy is very significant to what I'm talking about. Development, gradual process. Oh yeah, there's mountains on. So these dials are represented by elements, and on 2 of the cards, it's literally mountain energy. Mountain and air energy. All 3 of them, actually. I apologize. All 3 of them are signifying mountains. One has fire and one has air. So these mountains are super significant to you and your meditation process. Like I said in the beginning, I'm here to tell you guys all how you should be meditating throughout the Mercury retrograde or throughout the end of the Mercury retrograde. For you, Capricorn, it's best to go to a top of the mountain. Look, if you don't want to leave the city, if you can't leave the city because of resources, time, I don't know, familial obligations, I don't know. Personally, as a Sagittarius, we don't have this issue. We will leave everything and everyone behind to go escape the city. But for you, Capricorn, what you want to do is you want to go to a place, because there's a lot of mountains. In my city, we have a lot of mountains that overlook the city. So if you can get to a mountain, where you can overlook the city, I think it will give you clarity. They always say a bird's eye view is going to be very important for anybody. When you see the world from an airplane, when you see the world from above, your problems start to seem, everything starts to seem like, I'm trying to think of the right word, but anyways, everything starts to seem like it could be solved. I was going to try to find that nice, pretty way to say that, but it doesn't matter. It's able to be solved. You're able to see it from a different perspective. And from a bird's eye view gives you a perspective from above. And it's not to be superior. It's not about superiority in any way. It's just about kind of feeling, sorry, the other thing that's coming to me is also that song where it's like you stand next to an ocean to feel small. You stand on top of a mountain to feel small again. It's humility, to think of yourself down there. Like, I was down there. I was one of them running around doing these things. It's a humbling moment to be up high and to see how you can change perspectives, to see how you can be calm and still in geographically the same place. Capricorn, I'm getting a lot of downloads for you guys, and they're kind of going all over the place. I'm not going to lie. So it's kind of like the Scorpion energy, and I really don't like it. So I'm going to move on because you guys are kind of like, there's a lot of questions I'm hearing and a lot of things I'm sensing and feeling, and it feels like there is a lot of chaos going on externally in your life, and I think it is kind of affecting you guys personally. What I'm going to say to you guys is just to not only honor divine timing, but honor yourself in the sense of self-care. Like, I think that what I'm supposed to be touching on for you guys is that if you go out and you do the things I'm talking about, like if you go to the mountain or you go to do anything like that, like, I know it seems silly because you guys, like I said, aren't like these people, but like, I take face masks to the mountain. Don't just go to the mountain and sit there and look at it from above and be like, oh my God, I'm ready for my downloads. Go up there and do something that is like self-care related. A face mask. Go up there with like nail polish and do your nails. There's a bunch of other things coming to me. I just feel like it's more significant to you as a person. Like, I should be more specific or unique to each person. So I'm not even going to sit here and give too many ideas, but I feel like you know what you're supposed to do up there. You're supposed to do something related to self-care and love. Self-love. Take a mirror up there and look at yourself in a mirror. To go up there and take selfies, literally. Like, and just look at how beautiful you are. Enjoy your own self. I don't know how else to explain it. All right, Aquarius, we're going to jump into Aquarius, and then we're going to jump into Pisces, and then I am all done. I always say I'm going to do these short, and then I always end up here for like 2-3 hours, but we're going to try to get out of here before the 2-hour mark. I'm at 1:34, so we're going to do about 10 minutes for the each. So Aquarius, how can you meditate? Yeah, so it seems like Aquarius, you're ready for a transformation, a radical change, giving up the old to make way for the new, a quantum leap. A lot of fire energy here, actually. 19, advancing, a warm reception, prosperous conditions, increased influence, hopefulness, lightening up, an arrival, self-discipline, concentration, strengthen your character from within, self-awareness, and realizing potential. There's some mixed messages here, Aquarius. It feels like your sense of these are all about taking a risk, changing something, a quantum leap. The Fool came out, which is literally a giant leap forward, and you have quantum leap. I think you're supposed to take a risk at something, Aquarius. That's going to be your level of meditation. It's going to be basically like, I need another word. Aquarius, an arrival, lightening up, hopefulness. I think you're supposed to change your attitude towards something. But I'm not quite sure exactly how meditation comes into play. I knew this was going to happen for somebody, which is why I brought these cards just in case. We're going to pull an animal energy, and we're just going to get some divine messages. Because it seems like there's something specific that your mind needs to be changed about. Whether it's a romantic situation, a familial situation, but you're very, you're confused and you feel overwhelmed. You don't have hope for the future. You want to restore hope again. So let's just say that regardless of what I end up figuring out in the animal oracle, is that you're in a place right now where you want to these all feel relevant, but I'm going to just shuffle one more time. I think the giraffe is relevant. You're in a place where you definitely want to be focusing on hope. So the three I have here are starfish, giraffe, and spider. I'm going to keep it simple and just read them right from the book for you, Aquarius, because I feel like these are probably, I can't find the right words for you, the right words of inspiration. So we're going to start off with spider, which is water. Weaver of the web of fate, wisdom, creativity, divine inspiration, shape-shifting, understanding the patterns of illusion, female energy for creative force of life. When Spider weaves her way into your life, she brings with her some powerful messages. A master creator, she is encouraging you to express yourself in a creative form. Beyond that, she is showing you that we are all the creators of our own lives. Only you have the power to weave the life you want. Stop waiting for something to happen to you. Create what you want to happen. Stop ignoring your ideas and dreams. Reach in, grab your creativity, and start putting it to use. Creativity is not solely regulated to the arts. Problem solving is creative. Business is creative. Relationships thrive when injected with a big dose of creativity. I kind of think that's relevant to the leap that it's asking you to take. They're asking you to take a leap of faith, take a leap of, like, be creative in the way you solve this issue of having no hope, of how you solve an issue with a familial issue or a romantic issue or a career issue. Starfish is 17, which is also water. Regeneration, moon magic, beauty, connection to the star people, which, by the way, you guys are represented by the star in tarot. You guys are literally represented by stars. I'm just saying that. Connection to the star people, tidal movement. Finding starfish on your path is a message and lesson to let go of things that no longer serve you. When you can easily and gracefully let go of what you no longer need, you open the door for what will serve you to come in. Work with the moon cycle, the new moon to let go and the full moon to invite. This is a powerful way to attune you to the rhythms of life. The ebb and flow of letting go and bringing in is right, timely, and powerful, which I think is interesting because we're coming up on a new moon, Aquarius. So I definitely think for you, right now is a time of kind of like being creative, having this like different perspective. Let's read the draft. Okay. Sees far into the future, ability to reach things that are unreachable to others, communication, intuition, and ability to remain above chaos. Giraffe points out that deep in your heart, you knew some of this already. Your intuition and foresight, even though you may not be able to explain why you knew this, you did. Listen to your gut. You are also being asked to search your heart and gut or your discernment to see how things feel to you. If it feels good, move forward. If something feels off, search to see if there is a hidden fear. If there is, look to healing that fear. If not, listen to that small voice telling you to look in another direction. Aquarius, what I'm going to tell you for your meditation advice is to work with your hands. Right now, you should be working with your hands somehow. I don't care if it's literally like just cleaning your house. You need to be using your hands because staying stagnant in the usage of your hands keeps you stagnant in the mind. You need to be moving your hands. And I'm not just talking about typing on a computer. I'm literally talking about like using your hands to like wash the dishes. When you wash dishes, it's a form of meditation. If you wash dishes silently, especially, that's what I'm hearing. When you wash your dishes, don't play YouTube, don't play music, don't play anything. Just wash the dishes in silence and see how the running water, the unconscious movement of doing something, how it affects your mind, how it lets the wheels turn in your mind. That's what you should be doing. I'm going to get off this energy. If it's not dishes, it's like something like dishes. All right, Aquarius? Now we're going to move into Pisces. All right, this is the one everybody's been waiting for because I had like 2 people message me about Pisces and somebody commented about Pisces, which, sorry guys, I'm so sorry Pisces is last. Pisces is one of the signs that was greatly affected, and that is because Pisces is opposite of Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. Pisces in most text is technically ruled by Pluto, right? Yeah, Pluto, but in some, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, that's not even what I was trying to say. Pisces is represented by Jupiter. Jupiter is the little brother of Mercury. And with that being said, Pisces is, the reason Pisces is also being affected is not just because of their connection with Virgo being opposite on the wheel, but also because of their connection with Jupiter and Mercury and Jupiter's connection. So check out where your Jupiter is, Pisces. That should be very significant to you. But let's see how you guys can meditate. I might pull an animal oracle for you guys just because you guys waited so long, and close off the whole reading with that energy. I feel this card, but I also want to do another shuffle. All All right, so we have decline, cutting back, frugality. I'm hearing moderation. I'm hearing less is more. Impulsiveness, immaturity, bluffing, ignorance, learning, impatience, reckless behavior. I'm hearing that less is more and divine timing is key. That could be a little... I just did a reading for Pisces earlier, so those are like messages that came through in that reading. So I could just be using verbiage that I'm comfortable with using from earlier, but that doesn't matter. The point is that resourcefulness, a sacrifice, you have to let go of something or cut back on something. It's kind of like consumption isn't just food, right? Letting back and frugality, these aren't just like finances or food. It could be in concern to like TV, it could be in concern to like social media, it could be in concern to like a mindset, an obsessive mindset about a person, place, or thing. I'm hearing for some it is financially related, cutting back on expenses. Less is more. I'm hearing you have everything you need, trusting in the divine circumstance that you have everything you need and you are surrounded by everyone you need. Even if these people aren't what you want, they may be what you need. So with that being said, meditation for you is going to be about kind of like literally, Pisces, and I'm being so honest, is literally like getting naked and looking in the mirror and doing like a mirror meditation. That would be very, very helpful for you, Pisces, because yeah, inner alchemy, mastery, spiritual renewal, consecrate. The other card I pulled is just about addiction and obsession, which is exactly what I was just talking about, but it doesn't matter. Mastery, spiritual renewal, concentrate, contain, rejuvenation, discerning wisdom. I would literally get naked and look in the mirror. Naked meditation is going to be like your number one meditation practice right now throughout the rest of this retrograde. It alchemizes our mind. It alchemizes our thought process as to who we are, our reflection, seeing our reflection naked. I'm hearing that you should quite literally be wet when you're doing this. So come right out of the shower when you're freshly washed, look into the mirror and really experience yourself. You'll find some type of wisdom in this experience. You're going to find some type of clarity in this experience. Yeah, that was kind of easy for you guys. I'm not even going to lie. Probably because you guys been waiting so long. So it's kind of easy to just tap right in. I'm going to pull a general ending message for everyone. And then I'm going to go ahead and close off the reading. But yeah, Pisces, really it's going to be about looking into the mirror naked and really experiencing yourself naked and really just experiencing yourself at your raw form. One of the cards that pulled out, but I put it back, was 3, which was the child, vulnerability, growing pains. You need to be vulnerable in self. And I think that begins with seeing ourselves naked. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go into the closing messages. And these messages are just going to be one single message for everybody that I'm going to read directly from the book. Closing messages for all 12 zodiac signs. We're going to go with that because it was popping out before too. It kept coming up to me. Even earlier it was coming up. So I feel like it has something to say. So the flamingo, number 40. An air card. All right, guys. So the general closing messages are ability to filter soul lessons from emotional waters, understanding the language of color, ability to maintain soul purpose in group living, understanding how to maintain balance. Flamingo makes an appearance in our lives when we need to hear that no matter what is going on in your life, even if it's a drama-filled situation, there is always a takeaway lesson. I love this. She is here to show you that nothing happens that is not supposed to. Finding the lesson is critical to be able to stay away from the lower vibrations emotions that you are experiencing. That's like guilt, shame, depression, those types of emotions is what that's talking about. So everybody, this is your final piece of advice. Take out a piece of paper and list all the possible lessons you have learned during the Mercury retrograde. You may not be in a place to see them right now, so use your imagination. Stuck in traffic and going to be late? Perhaps if you were on time, you would have been in an accident. Once you start training yourself to look at situations in this way, life becomes much less frustrating. It's crazy because as a Sagittarian, that's literally how I look at my life. I believe I'm always in the right place at the right time. I believe everything happens for a reason. You don't necessarily have to believe it to that extent, but at least try to apply it to a period of your life. And I promise a lot of things will start to change, especially if you're going through a dramatic experience. And that's kind of what it was talking about. And what I talked about in the beginning. This has been a heavy time for all of us. So if it's been so heavy and you're feeling heavy energy from all of this, then now is the time to list out the reasons. Make a list of all the reasons this could have been meant to be. Make a list of all the lessons you could have learned throughout this retrograde. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close it off here. I hope this reaches you with lots of love and light. I hope that when you guys do watch it, you were in a calm, cool, and collected place. And I hope that things resonated with you in a calm, cool, and collected place. If not, please message me. If not, try to watch again when you are calmer, cooler, and more collected. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Peace.